Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the channel again. It's great to have you here, and thanks for stopping in. Today, we're going to talk about letting go. It's a pretty common thing that a lot of people talk about, and so we're going to dive right into it. So, what do people mean by letting go? And often we can get stuck into, well, if I let go, then they'll come back. I know in a lot of the dating communities and different things like that, it's like just let it go, or don't do this and they'll come back. And if you really think about it, is that letting go? Right? If you're letting something go to get something back that you've already been in, you're not really letting that go, at least in my opinion. But hey, I've been wrong before. And that's another thing. We talk about relationships. We often talk about those types about letting go. But what about letting go other versions of yourself? So what I mean by that is, what about letting go certain versions you have of yourself that are no longer serving you? They're not benefiting you. You, only do certain things. You only do it this way. And I've always done it that way. So that's the way I'm going to do it. And so the challenge becomes, how do you let that go? Right? How do you let go of the old version of you so a new version can come in? And that's probably something to let go of too, that you have to let go of this idea that you're not okay how you are. Now, you may be doing certain behaviors and certain other things that are not helping you achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. But when we get in this mindset of like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, because this is what I want. So it's like we're doing to get, which is fine if that's where you're at. But truly letting go of something, when we talk about opinions or ideas, right? Letting go of relationships doesn't mean you don't remember. You let go of the idea of what that relationship was and accept what it is now. And that's the hard part, is accepting, right? Accepting how things are rather than how we want them to be. I mean, who are we kidding? If it involves a relationship and that relationship ends, it doesn't just like, okay, it's this and that. It's the whole letting go of what you thought that would be, what you thought that would look like, what you thought you would look like in that relationship with that person. And so you're not just letting go of, well, the relationship ended, and I'm letting go of that. You're letting go of all of those versions of your thoughts about you, about that person, about what that would mean maybe for your family, maybe for your children, maybe for their children, and you're letting that all go. And that becomes the challenge, right? Because oftentimes we get stuck up, okay, so if I let this go, what if? We get into the what ifs, right? And just think about that. How many times do you get into the what ifs? Well, if I do this, what if that? What if, instead of saying, well, what is this? So I'm not talking to this person anymore. So me thinking about them continually and trying to contact them and trying to do this and that, that's not what is, because what is that you're not coming together, you're not talking, you're not working together in a relationship, right? Someone is not choosing you or you're not choosing them. So those things no longer apply in that situation. It doesn't mean you don't care about them. It doesn't mean they don't care about you. It's just letting go of a version that you had already set up in your mind. Right? The other thing to think about is that we got to let go of these frames. So I use versions, and people will describe them as other things. But you think about it as frames, right? You're truly enough as you are. And that's a hard one to like wrap our head around, letting go that you're not enough. You know, I mean, in the whole self-help community, chances are you've tried a lot of things and they last for a little bit and then they fade away because, it's like making these new commitments in the new year, right? You start off and things go well. It's going to be great, going to be great. And then it's like, oh, you know, that new version to come through requires work, dedication, commitment, and it requires you to reframe how you see yourself. And so oftentimes people will say things and it sucks you right into their frame. I'll give you an example. There's a guy on YouTube that does this really well. Believe his name is Julian. And I like how he does this. So he talks about if someone says, like, why are you so needy? And you jump in and go, well, I'm not. So they've just reframed you and you jumped into their frame. And it may take a bit to grasp that concept, and that's okay. But as soon as someone says, well, you're this, and you gravitate to that, right, you jump into that frame. You'll often hear stay in your own lane, stay in your own frame, stay in your own isness or suchness, stay in you, realizing I'm enough. And so if someone says, why are you so, why are you so sucky? Why do you cry at everything? That's what I do. As soon as you jump into another version, right, you go into this other version, then that frame has got you. I don't do those things. What are you talking about? Why are you saying these things? Right? And so it's really important when we talk about letting go, also letting go of other frames that we dive into that people will bait us with. Do I think they're fishing on purpose? No, but yes. Because they've decided what version of you they want to talk about. And as soon as you let go of that and you know that you're enough, you know that you don't do these things or that you're okay, right? You're not jumping into anyone else's frame, any else's version but you. And so when we let go of this idea that we have to be something more to get more, really letting go is about less. If you really think about it, like if you think about it, how many times you've worked on yourself and you're adding and adding, but you're also taking away. Hopefully, you're gaining something, right? And then you're starting to figure out what to let go, what these core values maybe that are really challenging you, that things that this identity, letting go of this identity that you believe you had to do or live by, right? And you start letting that go. You're giving things up, pushing things out, because the whole letting go thing, it's 100% an inside job. It's all about you letting go of ideas and versions and thoughts and other things that thoughts people have projected and you've bought into, like we all do. I've done this. I've done this so many times. I mean, for me, the easiest one to talk about would be, people constantly talking about my height, right? And it wouldn't be just one person. It might be 5 times a day for the last 51 years. Well, maybe not 51 years, but like 45 years. And so I would always jump into this different version, like this new version of myself, until I finally realized that the version of me is the one that I'm enough. It doesn't matter what people say about that. It doesn't have to change who I am or how I respond to that. And so that's what I'm really getting at here, is letting go, right, is an inside job. It's totally inside of you. And oftentimes you'll hear me talk about, your mind, your heart, your physicality, and your soul or your spirit. And so you start letting go of this picture in your mind of what that means when someone may say something about you, or letting go in your mind of what you think you should be rather than what you are and what you're trying to become, right? And same with your heart, right? You're letting go of versions, these old emotions, right? Especially when there's trauma involved, letting go of those things, right? For the new person to emerge. It's already there. It's all underneath all that stuff. It's just letting that stuff go and finding out who you truly are. Anyways, that's what I have for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I'll be on here a little bit more. I was away for a little bit, so what do you do? And as always, you're enough. You just have to start. You just have to start figuring out what it is you want to do. And you are enough, despite what someone may have told you, what you may tell yourself. You are enough, and you are deeply loved. And what I mean by that, even though it's kind of cringy, right? But go into the mirror and you look at yourself. And I'm not saying sit there and go, I love you, I love you, I love you. But look at yourself and you're just like, I love you. I'm getting there. I'm clearing away stuff. I'm getting to that point. Anyways, you take care and we'll see you around.